This episode of Married Now Widowed is sponsored by Evolution Laser Clinic, Apex Financial Services, and the Cosmetic Lounge. Welcome back to another episode of Married Now Widowed. We're your hosts. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Nadine, and this podcast is about navigating life after loss through unfiltered conversations.
Welcome back. I'm excited. Yes.
Me too.
We are back. We've had a big week.
We have had a big week.
Do you want to share what's happened over the weekend?
Definitely. So we organised a charity event to raise funds for cancer research.
Yep.
So the two charities that we wanted to give back to was the Chris O'Brien Lifehouse and the David Morris Cancer Research Fund.
Yep.
Can I just say, I don't think I've ever been like, I don't know, the feeling that I felt that day.
I know, it was incredible.
It was. And
it was amazing.
It was just like a feeling of also like satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was so special. Everyone really
extremely special
came together to support us, support the launch of the podcast and help raise funds and bring awareness. And it was just such a great day.
It was a beautiful day.
It was such a nice day.
Yeah, it was so good. And I think also the feedback that we received from the event was just
overwhelming. Like everyone, just had such a great day. And it was just, especially for our first charity event that we've held, it was like, it really exceeded my expectations, to be honest. Yeah, it was fantastic. So we're really proud of that.
Definitely. And how much did we raise?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, so we raised over $27,000.
Yes.
And for our first charity event, that's just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm so proud.
Absolutely.
I'm so proud of us. And you know what? I think also we should probably take a minute to thank everybody that, just really stood by our sides and,
donated their time.
Exactly.
And their services. Everyone really came together. It was fantastic.
It was amazing. It really was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
Our three major sponsors. Yeah. Can I just say they didn't even bat an eyelid.
I know. We're pretty lucky. We have some good people behind us for sure. For sure.
And then our other business sponsors as well.
Everyone.
My wishing well.
Everyone. Yep. Do you want to, can you think of them on the top of your head?
I think I can.
Go for it. Stacks. Yes. Shout out to Stacks. Thank you.
Agents.
Yes.
Is your goal?
Yes.
Midas Electrical.
Midas Touch Electricals. Yep.
And then even like Motion Hub and, Bella Photography. And
absolutely.
Just everybody.
And the venue, Misk, was incredible. So
amazing.
Hospitable. That was amazing.
And then everyone that donated, to
the raffle. Yep. To our goodie bags. It was incredible. And if you want to see more, you can go on our Instagram at Married Now Widowed. And we have so many photos from the day, so many videos from the day. It was just amazing. It was so good. We're so grateful, to be honest.
And I think next year would definitely be bigger and better.
I need some time after that.
Do you remember when it was probably within the first month that we were organising this event. And I just want to say, like, we organised this event in 2 months.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive, to be honest. Yeah.
But when we first started organising this event, I don't know, there was some minor issue, and I said to you, next year when we do this, and you were like, what? Next year?
Yeah,
what do you mean next year?
Don't even. I'll never be. But you know what? I don't think people understand, unless you've been in events, how much planning and prep goes into one day or a few hours, in fact, because it's a lunch, right? So 4 hours. It was intense. Like, we were on the phone to each other 24/7 and every day.
I want to say we also have our own, businesses that we run. Right. We have children. And so it was a lot. We're like at work and then we're coming home, we're cooking dinner, putting our kids to sleep, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we're on FaceTime, laptops in our lap.
Yeah, trying to get this done.
Sending emails.
Yeah. Oh, I've actually never used my email so much in my life.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was all worth it. We raised a really good amount of money. We definitely brought more awareness towards our causes, and the outcome off of the back of the event has been incredible. Yeah. So all worth it.
Yes, definitely.
All right, let's get into this episode. So we're going to talk about special occasions, special dates after memorable dates after you lose someone, right? So
and I think we kind of really need to acknowledge the complexity of this, because special dates, or for me anyway, I feel like it can bring up such raw emotions, especially the firsts, like the first Father's Day without them, their first birthday, your New Year's, even your own birthday or your children's birthday. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I feel like it was the firsts that killed it.
Were really difficult.
Really, really tough, really difficult.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you know, we always say this, but I don't think people understand it unless they're actually going through it.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah. But I know that first year, you know, put aside that it's, you know, you're grieving and it's incredibly tough.
Yeah.
But then you have these special dates, and it's like a constant reminder that they're no longer with you anymore.
Absolutely. And I feel like special dates in general, there's so much pressure to like perform on that day, whether it's your birthday or your husband's birthday or your child's birthday or whatever it is. Naturally, put aside the grief, there's a lot of pressure to make the day an occasion.
That's right.
Which is nice when you have everyone celebrating with you and when things are going well. But then when you've lost someone, it's just so heavy, you know.
Extremely heavy.
I remember when Mohammed passed away, so it was November the 10th, right? Those next few months, I felt like I was getting hammered with occasions, right? So passed away November 10th, my birthday November 29th. Then I think it was like Christmas, December 25, New Year's Day. January 1st, Valentine's Day, Feb. March was Haydar's first birthday.
Wow.
Ramadan came, Eid, and then his birthday. I felt like I was getting smashed with, and then, and then in January as well, my wedding anniversary. Yeah. So just in that 4 months,
that would have been
I felt like I was
extremely
getting hammered
difficult
with like events and so fresh. Like to have my birthday like 2 weeks later,
after.
Like I always made a joke, tried to get out of buying me a birthday present. But it's and like the first time is full on, but really it's always strikes a chord.
Of course, it's always going to be full on. And like I said to you, I think, you know, the second year or, you know, the third year, it's always going to be a constant reminder that they're no longer with us anymore. But that first year, it's
on the topic of it always being hard. Do you want to bring up your phone call the other month to me? I feel like it's appropriate.
Okay. So this is the thing, okay? The first year, totally get it.
Yeah.
What happens to me now is, yes, it's still hard.
Yeah.
Extremely hard.
Yeah.
I might not be crying and, you know, depressed and but I think subconsciously it kind of
affects you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And someone said that to me once. I think it was Eleanor. She said to me, it was like the month. So in July, it's Mick's death anniversary, but it's also my wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was probably a couple of weeks before my wedding anniversary. So maybe like the end of June. And I was just so emotional.
Yeah.
So extremely emotional.
Yeah.
And then she said to me, I rang her one day and I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm feeling this way. And then she said, oh,
yeah,
you know, like there are some significant dates coming up.
Yeah.
And then it made sense to me.
Yeah.
So I think subconsciously, you know that these dates are coming up and you just want to power through and you just, you know, you don't want it to affect you, but
of course it's going to.
You.
Yeah, whether you want.
So the conversation that we had, I think I was at work.
Yeah, you were.
And we were organising the charity event. Yeah. And you rang me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what did I do?
So I call her and we call each other like 15 times a day, and usually it's just like a 2-second, like, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I call her and I thought she was hysterically laughing. I hadn't said anything yet. And then I realized, I was like, wait, are you crying? And then she's like bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, oh, fuck, like, what? Are you okay? Like, what's happened? And like hysterically crying in like the back room of your shop, right? Mm-hmm. And then I think you just said like, oh, I'm just, you know, was it Mick's? What was it? No, it was your wedding anniversary.
Yeah, it was my 15-year wedding anniversary.
That's right.
That day.
That's what it happened. Yeah. So that was totally out of nowhere, like very emotional.
Yeah.
And how many wedding anniversaries has it been now since he's passed? This is the third one without him, right? So it's 3. And it still hit you massively. And 100%. It was like one of those things where like you get it all out and then she like snapped back and like, okay, I'm okay, I'm going to be okay. And then
I just needed to get it out because like I said, it's just it's a sting.
Yeah, of course what I mean? It is.
It's
absolutely.
It's like,
absolutely.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
They're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's
just a constant reminder. And I think, it's that phone conversation was, sorry about that.
Honestly, anytime.
But again, like 3 years in and you still feel
and you
it.
know what? I think it's really important to be able to have a person like that you can just do that too, and then oh, okay, I'm good, bye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Thank you.
Thanks for that.
Talk later.
Yeah, literally, right? And someone that understands that you don't need to, like, I didn't need to sit there and console you for 40 minutes. And it wasn't one of those. It was just like, have her moment, jumped off the phone. I think I messaged you like a few hours later and I was like, what's happening? How you feeling?
No, you were like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to bother you today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah,
we were doing all things charity
that's right.
event.
And I was like, just forget about the charity stuff. Yeah. Do you? And like, I'll check in later.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, definitely depending on, it doesn't really matter, I guess, whether it's the 1st year, the 5th year, the 10th year, even. I'm sure there are people out there that have lost people that will say even 15 years later their birthday's a difficult date or whatever. And I think so, really important to have someone that you can just express how you're feeling to. But I think also not so much have a plan because you don't know how you're going to feel on the day. But once you've gone through the first of everything, then the second and the third, I feel like you can kind of, you know what's going to soothe you on that day.
Of course. You know? Walk into it knowing what to expect.
That's exactly right. Like for me personally, I decided against actually having a first birthday for Hader. So Muhammad died 10th of November, Hader's birthday 15th of March. So few months in between. First birthday, massive milestone. But I just couldn't do it. Not without his dad, A, for his first birthday, and B, it was just such a miserable time. And I thought, am I going to regret not giving my son a first birthday? Like, what about, you know, when kids get a little older and, you know, your parents always show you pictures. Here's you on your first birthday, whatever. Am I going to regret all of that? So what I did instead was I did a private photography session of him, and I have the most amazing, we did a smash cake, right? So I still have pictures, but it just wasn't that pressure of, you know how people are, right? Like, obviously, because it was so soon after, it would have been filled with a lot of like sympathy. And I personally, I don't like that attention. Like, I struggle. I get really awkward, and I didn't want the whole like, oh, happy birthday, oh, you. Like, I just wanted to avoid the whole thing.
Don't forget though, that would have been what, like 4 months after Mohammed passed away. So that's soon. Quite recent.
Very fresh.
Like, it's very
fresh. And to be honest with you, thinking about his birthdays in the future, so his third birthday's coming up, still uncomfortable for me. Will I have one? For sure. But I feel like, you know, there's just those typical moments that you have, like mum and dad cutting the cake, family pictures, that type of stuff that
you're not going to get
sad about. But also, and I don't know if this sounds bad, but, you know, I'm just going to say it. Like, I actually hate when people try and step in for Mohammed. I hate it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if every widow feels like that or if it's just me, but I just don't want you to
stand there while I'm taking a family photo.
No, because you're not Mohammed, you're not his dad, you're not my husband. Do you know what I mean? So I just prefer, I'll just do my thing with my son. It is what it is. Everyone knows he doesn't have a dad. I don't know why I dislike it so much when someone tries to like step in. And I know it's out of the goodness of people's hearts. Do you know what I mean? They want to like make you feel like, oh, you have a family or like, you know, friends or, you know, whatever will want to step in. But me personally, I just don't like it. I don't know what it is.
No,
I just don't like it.
You know, there's no right or wrong. That's how you feel.
There is no right or wrong. That's exactly right. Yeah. So, so I think as time goes on, you do start to form a plan. So if you're going through your first in something, it's going to be hard, but let it be hard.
That first year, just let it run its thing. Yeah. Like, let it do its thing. Feel the emotions. We have, honestly, feel the emotions. Cry it out. Yeah. Do whatever you need to do to get through those moments. Yeah. Because looking back now, it's not like I had a plan on his first, his first death anniversary, for example, or his birthday, or Father's Day, New Year's, my birthday, my kids' birthdays. Yeah. I never had a plan. It was just whatever happens that day happens that day. That's right. And I have this thing where on all occasions, and I'm sure you do too, we always go to the cemetery. Yeah. So that was something that we always did, and that was something that we continue to do. Yeah. Yeah. Moving forward, I don't have a plan. Yeah. I still don't have a plan. Yeah. Yeah. However, I try and turn those days, other than the day he died, because that's just,
it's not going to happen.
You're not going to celebrate that. You're not
ever.
Yeah. You're like at the cemetery. Yeah. You're there for a couple of hours. You're coming home and you're just
miserable.
Yes. Yeah. But the other days, like his birthday, Father's Day, you know, the kids and I will go to the cemetery. We'll sit with him for a couple of hours. They get a hot chocolate. I get a coffee. We just sit there. We have a little bit of a giggle. We hang out. We talk about him and, bring up beautiful memories that we had with him, and the kids will tell me stories. Yeah. And then we go home. Yeah. I cook his favorite meal. Yeah. And we sit and we have dinner. Yeah. Yeah. So for me and the kids personally, it does still sting, but I've kind of turned it around a little bit and just made it more of a like a day of remembrance. Not that I forget him or the kids forget him or you know what I mean. That's not what I mean by that. But it's just the day where we do what or eat what he wanted to eat or do you know what I mean?
I like that.
And I think even there was one year where we went to his favourite restaurant.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, let's go to Dad's favourite restaurant on his birthday.
Yeah, I like that.
So we went, so we go to his favourite restaurant, for example.
I love that, yeah. You know.
You just make it whatever you want to make it, honestly.
Of course. You do what you feel is right.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny, actually, because, you know, this episode will be released on Father's Day in Australia. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I just put that together now. So Father's Day is coming up, right, which is like a special date for both of us. My son, I got an email from his daycare and they're going to have an afternoon tea for all the dads to come. And this is the first year that my son's been in schooling. So it's the first year that I've had to actually deal with stuff like this. And so as soon as I saw that email, I straight away like blocked out my afternoon at work. So I'll go and pick him up before all the fathers arrive because I just feel like he's not old enough to explain it. He's at an age where he'll be like,
why does everyone's
dads are here?
Yeah.
You know? And I remember when I got that, when I was blocking it out in my calendar, I had a client who I'm really close with and she was standing at the desk just paying for her appointment and she was rebooking her next. And I said, oh, babe, I'm sorry, that date, Hayder's got a Father's Day lunch at school, got to pick him up early. I want to avoid that whole situation. And she got really teary over it, you know, which I understand. But I feel like when you're a mother, a little bit of me read that and I was like, but it's also go, go, go. It's like, okay, how do I protect my kid now? Okay, great. I'm going to pick him up early. He won't know anything.
Of course.
I'm going to talk to the educators. You know, they're really great as well. They, I mean, the class is not massive. So I don't know what, I'm pretty sure most of the other kids have a mum and a dad, but they're really good with him in the sense of not honing in on like mum and dad stuff too much with him, you know, giving him a different activity when they're doing their Father's Day cards and stuff, which I'm super grateful for because obviously your kids are going to go through those times in places that you have no control over, like school, right? School's a big one because they always celebrate those events. They celebrate fathers. They've got the fathers coming and bring your dad to work day and this and that, you know. And for me, it's all about protecting Hayder.
Definitely. My children, when their dad passed away, they were in primary school. So the teachers knew that year what had happened, but then the following year, obviously they put in different classes with different teachers.
That's right, yeah.
So my first thing was, okay, I need to tell their teachers that their father has passed away.
Yep.
And if they are going to do anything on Father's Day, that's Father's Day related, cards, stalls, whatever.
Yeah.
I just said to them, give them that option.
Yeah.
I don't want to take it away from them just in case they do want to participate. But at the same time, I'm not going to force it down their throat if that's a trigger for them.
Absolutely.
So they would they'd go ahead and they'd do the card.
Yeah, I remember you told me they choose to participate. Yeah.
And then we would go to the cemetery on Father's Day and they would leave their cards for him.
I love that.
On Father's Day.
That's so nice.
On his grave on Father's Day.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful.
So I think it's all about, you know, we spoke about that first year and go through all the emotions and all the feelings that are surrounding that.
Of course.
You know, that first year. But then moving forward, how are you going to turn it around, or what can you do to kind of turn it around or make it easier on yourself and on your children?
And I think it's important as well when because children are so impressionable, it's just so important for you as the parent or carer to sort of give them strength and help guide them, right? So I'm not saying that you can't be sad in front of them, talk to them about, you know, what's going on. Absolutely. But I think it's just so important that the same way you do with your children, you make it a day. It's not they wake up, mum's in bed crying and it's just a miserable day. And like you get yourself up. This is what we're doing. Let's go and spend some time with your dad. He loved that meal. Let's cook it. What else did Dad love? And you know what?
You're right, because I think it was the day he passed away, so his death anniversary. I don't know why, but this year, I mean, every year, but this year I was like, I don't know, I was really, really, really down.
Yeah.
And you're right, because if I'm really down and depressed or upset in front of my kids, I know that they also tend to be in that same mood.
Of course they would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, okay, what are we going to do today? Let's go to the cemetery. Let's come home and let's cook his favorite meal.
Give purpose to the day.
Definitely.
You know, and I think as well, what do you think Mick would want you to do on that day?
That's right.
You know, I don't think that he would want you to be miserable in bed and your children sitting there thinking,
definitely,
well, what are we going to do?
Yeah,
you know, look at mum. How do we help her? I feel like, obviously, again, not a therapist, but I really feel like with children, a lot of parents, I think, make the mistake of leaning on children for support, right? And I get that. It's so easy to do, especially when you're a one-parent household, right? Your kids are your world, they're your rock, they become your best friend. When they get that little bit older and they're able to have a conversation with you and communicate properly, very easy to trauma dump and lean on them, right? But I think that from everything that I've seen and everything that I've watched and all the times that I hear therapists speak about children and the psychology and them growing up and the trauma and where it stems from and doing a lot of work around that, I feel like these are all the foundations, right? You're building the foundation for your children now. And when you do that, it affects them. You might not think it does. And in the moment, it might not. But it's something that I feel like always circles back later in life. So even though I get it, it's so hard. And you do. Sometimes you just want to be miserable and you just want to be yourself. And why can't I be myself in front of my children? They're my children. They can see me at my worst. I get that and I agree with that to an extent. But I think it's also really important for them to know mum or dad, if they have a dad and not a mum, for example, is my strong person. That's my go-to. We're the kids. We go to the parent for support and for strength and, you know, to be our backbone, not the other way around.
I agree with you. But I saw a therapist after Mick passed away, and one of the things she said to me was, you don't want to suppress your feelings to the point where your children don't see any emotion coming from you, because then they will grow up and they will be like, whatever they experience in life, they will always bring it back to what their mum went through.
Yeah.
And if my mum lost my dad and my mum didn't cry, then me, I don't know, whatever, something that might be
I shouldn't be
bit,
crying over that then.
Exactly.
I do agree with that,
So I think to a degree.
It's a fine line.
Definitely. There is a fine line. You want to be able to express yourself and show your kids, you know, that, you know, when you are upset, you're upset.
For
when
sure.
you're happy, you're happy.
For sure.
But you're right. You don't want to trauma dump on them because later on in life, it can affect them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's definitely just like a balancing thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you just have to have balance. Obviously, you want to show your child that it's okay to feel and to be sad and to be angry and to be hurt and all these emotions, which of course it is, right? Yeah, but just not to go too far with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is like can be hard too. I don't blame anyone that like does trauma dump, you know, like it's not done purposely. I think most parents want what's best for their children, you know, but I think it's easy to, and especially if that parent is isolated, right? We've received some messages on our pages about like, you know, I'm all alone and my family this and my in-laws this, and, you know, so they're by themselves. If all you have is your child, very easy to offset everything onto them. That's I get that if you don't have a strong support network or even just that one person that you can go to, who else are you going to go to? You're going to go to your children, especially if they're like your children are of age to have a chat, have a conversation, exactly you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So special dates. I think as well with, in terms of like other people and approaching it with you, I think other people find it really difficult as well what to say on those dates, and they don't know, do you bring it up? Do you say,
a lot of people,
you know,
like on like Mick's birthday or even the anniversary of his passing. Well, actually, especially the anniversary of his passing.
Right.
A lot of people would ring me and they'd just say like, I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay, you know. Yeah. Like, I think for me, it's just I'm thinking about you.
That's right. You don't really need to say much. Yeah, it's just the call.
Thinking about you and the girls today.
Yeah.
And a lot of people send me those messages.
I think that's so nice. Yeah. I think that's really sweet.
And then on his birthday, you know, his mates will send me a message and they'd be like, happy birthday to Alush.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. And I think that's really important to
acknowledging, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And for us to share that with people that may be listening, because I know we do have some listeners that actually aren't grievers, but they know someone that's grieving and they're like, oh, I don't know what to say. Or do you remember that message that we got the other day? And she was like, glad I came across it because I've got a friend that's going through this and I don't really know how to be. So I think, you know, a good piece of advice for if you're a support person for someone is to just, sometimes you don't have to say anything.
I just want to add, I would definitely acknowledge.
So would I. Definitely.
For me,
don't ignore it.
For most widows, you don't want anybody to forget your husband.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody to forget them. And so if you ignore it, I'd feel like absolute shit.
Yeah, I don't think you should ignore it, but I do understand why you think you should maybe ignore it. But
I had a cousin send me a love heart.
Yeah.
That's all I needed.
Perfect. Yeah, I think so too.
I know that you thought of him in that moment.
That's right. And that's so
you
special,
thought of me and my
isn't
kids.
It?
So special. Yeah. It is so special.
Especially.
I don't want anybody to forget him.
Of course not. And you know, that's the thing, right? Realistically, everyone's busy. Everyone's got their lives. Yeah. Everyone's lives are crazy. I mean, sometimes I can't remember my best friend's birthday, right? So it is easy to forget certain special dates for your person as time goes on. So when someone actually remembers and reaches out and tells you, like sends you a love heart or, hey, I'm thinking about you and the kids, it means so much because it's like, wow, like you remembered.
That's right.
You know, it's really special.
Yeah. So I would definitely reach out to that person on those, you know, on those special days.
Definitely.
And, you know, it doesn't have to be every day, like every special occasion.
No,
but
that's exactly
just
right.
Just like, you know, like Father's Day and their birthday, the day they passed away.
That's
like
exactly right. And you know what? I think like for me personally, his birthday, my son's birthday, a lot easier than Father's Day, Eid, because I feel
everyone is celebrating those days.
The whole world, like you wake up and your Instagram is flooded with kids and their dads, or everyone dressed up for Eid, going to, you know, families' houses or whatever. Those days are harder for me.
They are.
My birthday, his birthday, It's not really anyone else's birthday that we know.
That's
nothing's on socials. Nothing's on TV. Yeah. There's no celebrations. Yeah. Whereas those major ones, Christmas, Eid,
New Year's Eve.
New Year's?
I die.
Sends me.
Bury me.
Done.
Bury me New Year's Eve.
Get me to bed at 9 because
me too.
I'm like.
So for the past couple of years, the first year, my mum, so my family, they all get together at one house and they just all have, you know, dinner, sit, hang out, whatever, midnight fireworks. That first year, my mum forced me to go.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to.
Yes.
The second year, my mum forced me to go.
I was there on the second year. Do you remember? I knew you on the second time. Yeah. Do you remember your mum forced you? I remember. Yes. Yeah. You were in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This last one, I went, listen, the last couple of years, you forced me and I went for my kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't go for me. I went for my kids.
Yeah, so they can have, you know.
This year, my kids and I, we want to have dinner at home.
Yeah.
We want to sit down.
Yeah.
We want to watch a movie. We want to watch the fireworks. And we want to be in bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I said to everybody, do not force me to go.
Yeah.
Because this year, I don't want to do it.
That's fair. And you know by now what's best for you.
Yeah.
That first year, I feel like people maybe think they know what's best for you and they're trying to help
people
you.
Think that you're going to be depressed,
and
sobbing
they
in your
come
bed,
out of the house,
and they want you to change, you know, scenery, and they want you to be around people and be around
which is fine. It comes from a great place.
It really does come from a great place. I understand that.
Yeah.
But if I want to be at home in my bed, or at home on the couch with my kids watching a movie, that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. And again, over time, you know what you want to do, and
Definitely.
you know, like, I don't want to go out on this date. I'm okay. You guys don't need to worry about me. I'm okay. I just want to be home.
But you want to know something?
What?
Even this last New Year's, I chose to sit at home with my kids and whatever.
Yeah.
But if I tell you, like, it still killed me.
New Year's? I can't.
Do you know why? Because I feel like
I do know why. Because it's romantic. New Year's is about adults. It's romantic.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
100%. And you know, the midnight kiss. But not just that.
This date kills me.
Not just that. Families are together.
Sick. Oh, sorry.
Vomit.
Sickening.
Right? Yeah.
The worst day of my calendar.
Families are together. You, your husband, your kids,
couples
all together
everywhere. Couples
all over social media, taking fucking photos, family photos.
Oh, it's so bad. It's such a bad day.
I get off social media.
I go 9 as soon as he goes to bed. 8 o'clock, I'm out. 9, I wake up the next day. Don't want to fucking know. Don't wish me happy. Don't even wish me a happy New Year.
Oh really? You don't want me to wish you?
Never.
I think I did
dare. No, yours was different though. Yours was like the long like.
It was.
Which is fine.
Our ones are different.
But don't send me in a group. Happy 2024, 25. May your year be filled. Fuck you. What? I fucking hate it, baby. And there's nothing I hate more. You don't understand. Like, I can handle a birthday. I can, right? I can handle, you know, I'll even go as far to say, like, I can do Eid. I can handle it.
Yeah.
New Year's?
Yeah.
5, 4. I am done. No, I can't. It sends me into depression.
Maybe we should do this New Year's together this year.
Let's do it.
Honestly.
Done. We're doing it. That's what's happening.
Yeah, okay.
You know what? It's New Year's Eve, obviously. The sentiment.
Sorry. Is 5, 4.
You know, let me tell you something. My neighbour, I love my neighbours. He is funny. He's a Karen of the street, right?
Oh, okay.
And I'm a fucking Karen too.
Are you?
Yeah, babe.
You don't look like a Karen of the street.
Don't have a fucking party on a Friday. I don't want to hear.
Excuse me?
No, I get the shit, and he's with me.
They have till midnight. You know that.
I hate that rule. I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to hear it, okay? Because I'm miserable at home by myself.
You mean New Year's Eve?
No, I mean any day of the week.
Oh, okay.
Any event, don't have it elsewhere. It's residential, right? But he's like that too. He's like 11:59. Should I call the fucking cops? I'm like, yeah, call him.
Dead.
His wife's like, you guys are so embarrassing, you know, blah, blah. New Year's, babe. So I just, if I'm awake for the 9 p.m., if I live in a, what area would you call it? Western Sydney. Do I live in Western Sydney? So it's like we got backyard fireworks happening and stuff. Oh, one crackle pop. I can't. Severe. Like I would actually go as far as to say that I actually get really depressed.
Yeah.
Like panicky, need to send myself to bed
No,
because
I
I
agree.
can't handle
even the third one,
the loneliness.
I'm still
it's
like,
bad.
even though I chose to be at home with the kids, but that was probably more because I wanted to sit with my emotions
in your misery,
and not have anybody interrupt that.
Yeah,
because the years prior. And I'm not going to say that I wasn't miserable. I was extremely miserable.
Course,
and everyone saw that I was miserable.
Yeah.
Like I remember I walked into my auntie's house, which is where they had this party.
Yeah.
And anyone who hugged me, like my mum walked up to me and I was like sobbing, like hugging her and sobbing.
What a joy you are at a
honestly,
party. Fucking hell.
Babe. And so I just felt like it was interrupted. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just let me be.
Yeah. Yeah,
let me go through this.
I get it.
It's one day that really affects me.
Yeah, I know. It's
I just want to sit with my emotions. I want to comfort my kids because don't forget, it's hard for me, but I also know how hard it is for my children. And so I want to be there to support them.
Yeah.
And I'm all about what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And this New Year's, they were like, let's sit at home and, you know.
Oh, cute. I love that.
So I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's because the last couple of New Years they knew that that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
But do you know what I did do?
What?
The last 2 New Years when I was with family.
Yeah.
11 o'clock.
What?
I'd leave my kids with my mum.
Oh.
Because I don't want them to miss out. They're with cousins and cousins' kids and whatever. That's slack.
Yeah.
Drop them off at home. I'm leaving. I'd go home and crawl in bed before midnight.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I don't blame you.
I don't want 12 o'clock. Ding. Ding. I don't want that.
Happy New Year.
Oh, no.
I fucking shut the fuck up. Oh my God. I just realized that no other date affects me like that. Wow.
Yeah, you're
right. This really brought up some emotions.
No, the date of their passing affects me. And clearly my anniversary this year really affected me.
I can vouch for that.
Because we were like, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'll never forget, babe.
You were like, what's happened?
Yeah.
What's wrong
I thought
with
you were laughing. I'm like, what? Hello? Oh, are you?
It's my 15th
and I was like, okay, we're doing this. Had to park the car. Okay, right.
But yeah, New Year's is a big one.
And I think a lot of widows would feel the same way. I think a lot of widows listening will be able to relate to this.
Definitely.
That is a really, and you know what? Actually, New Year's Day fucks with me. The misery on that day.
My husband was a massive, like, an entertainer.
Yeah.
Right? So, and he would always invite people over.
Yeah.
Like Boxing Day. Another one stabbed me in the neck.
Really?
Boxing Day. He'd invite his nephews and their wives and his brothers. And they would come over and we'd have a barbecue and we'd have the pool and everyone would be in and out of the water.
Family stuff.
Right. Boxing Day is another big one for me.
Okay.
But New Year's Day, that one would also be another.
Yeah, that's a hard one for me too.
Day where he would entertain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
New Year's fucking kills me. Everyone's out, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
do you know what I choose to do now? I do like a New Year's Day thing with my friends.
Okay, yeah. I think I would do that too with girlfriends.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not celebrating with their families, I feel like I'd be okay too. I think I'd actually like to do that, to be honest. It distracts me.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think, and I realized this last New Year's, I was actually, yes, I was sad. Yeah, it was extremely difficult, right? Like the New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But I think I was really excited about New Year's Day this year because I was invited with some of my friends.
Yeah, that's
We were
different.
invited to like a rooftop bar where, you know, they had hired out the entire bar. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to spend the night with my kids.
100%.
And then the next day,
great.
I'm going to,
yeah.
So I think moving forward, I really won't be doing anything on New Year's Eve unless like for the kids, obviously, like I'll do something.
Yeah.
But I think moving forward, my thing will be New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. Yeah, I think.
So this is the thing. You want to try and, yes, you're hurting. And like I said, it's always going to sting.
Yeah.
But what can you do to kind of turn it around a little bit and just, you know?
I think, turn it around for sure, but also distract yourself.
Definitely.
I think it's important to give yourself a distraction. You know, I don't think it's good to distract yourself every single day from pain that you're feeling, but I feel like on an occasion like that, distraction is so important because it's just really hard to really suffer through those emotions. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's funny. I mean, little things are triggering, right? So New Year's Day, right? The shops, even New Year's Eve, right? So New Year's Eve, the shops are packed. You see people, ice, eskies, buying out like that. Oh, I can't. It's like, it sends me into such depression. Like I can't even and then the next day when I want to live like a normal person and pretend it's not New Year's Day, Woolworth's not open till midday.
So this is the thing, right? That's right.
Like I just want to be normal.
But I don't know. I'm sure you did this as well. But Mick and I, before any public holiday and especially the end of year ones, we would always laugh at people and say, they're acting like the world is coming to an end.
And
you know,
it's closing for like 5 hours.
Right.
Yeah. And they're buying out the shelves.
But then we would do the same thing. We would go, we're like, you know, it's like New Year's Eve and I'm like, Mick, we got to get to the shops and get some groceries because we're not going to be able to go tomorrow.
That is so funny. 100%.
Right.
Same thing.
And so on those days, you get those triggers. You get triggers left, right, and center, right?
But
the special days, they trigger.
Yeah.
You get these triggers, and that's a memory that I always think
of
about.
Course,
you know, I always think, fuck, like today we would that be like those people that we used to laugh at.
Like, oh, do we have lemon?
What
if
we don't have the end of the world?
Salt? We need salt, and it's like, what do you need salt for? Yeah, no, I know, and I think like. Any other day, you see people walking, buying groceries, doing whatever. You don't know what they're doing, going home, cooking, whatever. But on those days, you know
everyone's there because the shops are closing.
Yeah, right.
Shops are closing.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
They're with their families, and then you get all the stuff that comes with it. The, New Year's kisses all over Instagram. They're just everything, and it's just a miserable day for me. I
so
can't.
Depressing.
That whole 24 hours, I just want to pretend it comes and goes. I hate people that ask me every year, what are you doing for it?
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I look forward to?
What? The next day. I love January 2nd.
The 7th of January.
Oh, why?
Because
everyone's back at
yes.
You miserable cow. I love it too. Everyone's back to normal.
Everyone's back at work. Everything's back to normal. Everyone's got no more fun. No more family holidays. Nope.
She has a specific date, the 7th of January. You know what? I'm fucking with you though.
Honestly.
Cut your fun out.
What fucking second? People are still on holidays at the beach.
Right. What? Yeah.
The 7th of February.
I need to be more miserable like you. You're right, babe. You know what? You're so right. The 7th is the best day.
And then there's another one.
Oh, what is it? she's
back to school.
Oh, yeah. Fucking you all go back to normal now. Lunches, pickups.
Everything.
Soccer's started.
Exactly.
Fuck off.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah. It's hard. They're hard dates. They're really hard dates.
But just put it in your fucking phone the 7th of January, not the 2nd.
That's when our party starts.
Exactly. People are probably thinking that we're hating on all these happy people and these happy families. No. We're not fucking hating on you guys.
Happy for you and your family. Happy that you get to have a nice New Year's Eve with your partners
and your kids.
Celebrate things
at Brighton Beach.
I avoid that. No. Don't even. I'm getting triggered now. It's not even New Year's. What's the date? Fucking hell, we're close by. We're going to spend New Year's Eve together.
We have to.
Yeah.
Let's
definitely.
be miserable together.
Yeah, for sure. No, done. Lock it in.
Yeah. Amazing.
Up there. Okay,
perfect.
Great.
Sounds good.
All right, amazing. Well,
alrighty.
That's a wrap for this episode, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learnt something from it, of course. We will be back next week with another episode. Again, anything you want us to talk about, any questions you have, please send them through. We're on all social platforms at Married Now Widowed. And we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.